This is Reggie Walker, and this is my TEDx. Growing up, I think it's very important for my story, for everyone that's listening to understand that I come from a very privileged background. I came from a very supportive family. Even though we're in the military, my parents always found a way to show support in the best way that they could. But one of the biggest things that I struggled with throughout my entire life was I never ever had that one person that could just show me the path to what I really wanted out of life, which was peace, fulfillment, and contentment. Given my history of trauma from the period of about 4 to about 12 was when I got molested. Also, growing up, I suffered through a lot of mental abuse, physical abuse, as well as sexual abuse. This was something that, even to my family, was a secret. It was a secret that I held very close to me and was something that I couldn't verbalize until I got a lot older. But given my situation, I learned one key lesson about life, that one of the most prized mentors that you're ever going to have and ever going to need in your life has to be yourself. Has to be yourself. I didn't really grow up in a situation where I had a bunch of positive mentors, where I had a bunch of positive examples of what to do and how to do it. How I learned was I became a thief, to put it simply. I learned that everyone has qualities that you can steal or you can cultivate yourself. You just have to be aware and you have to be curious. And I was always curious as to, well, really anything. I was very curious about life, what was right or wrong, me, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, how many different ways you could do one thing. I was very curious, very curious. But living through the effects of the trauma that I experienced, it left me with a hole, with a cancer, with this darkness that at times would overtake me completely and left me wanting help, but that help never came. What I had to do in order to accomplish all the great things that I did accomplish was I had to find out who I wanted to be, how could I get there, and what fuel was going to drive me there. And with the understanding of these three key aspects, I created a life that few could sit there and say that they could accomplish. I was a prize high school recruit. I ended up playing at Kansas State University, where I was a dominant player. I had great pride in the fact that I made it to such a high level and played in one of the best conferences in Division I football. I suffered through a lot during that time in college. I dealt with a situation where I had many people that tried their hardest, and they're very powerful individuals, to make sure that whatever I did was always scrutinized. I suffered through my team getting turned against me. I suffered through clinical depression, clinical anxiety, even though I didn't know it at the time. Also, too, I was bipolar and I was very unaware of it. But I always stuck to a system. I always stuck to a system. And through that same system, I went on to be an undrafted free agent. I worked myself up to a team captain. I became a starter. I played in humongous games, in humongous situations, on one of the biggest stages there is, in front of millions of people. And it brought me so much joy, understanding that I proved to myself that I was more than nothing. Because growing up, that's how I felt all the time, that I was nothing. But I challenged that thought. I challenged that thought constantly. Are you nothing? All right, let's go see. And I constantly told myself, through all of the negative feedback that I got, through all the negative feedback I was giving myself, through the lack of support, through dealing with all of my mental issues, and I became not only an accomplished athlete, but I became a great father, a great husband, a great son, a great friend, a great citizen. I accomplished my American dream. And I know that you can accomplish your dream too, with just understanding 3 keys to success. 3 keys that took me time through trial and effort to cultivate. One of those is knowledge of yourself, knowing who you are, why you're this way, and understanding all the good that you are, all the bad that you are, and always being aware of this, never being afraid to look yourself in the mirror, and being okay with telling yourself where you're trash at. I am trash in this area. I am not so good in this area. I am not so good in that area. But looking at it through the lens that you can make that weakness a strength. Also, with that understanding that you need to jump out on your strengths instead of your weaknesses. We all have our own individual strengths. And with our own individual strengths, we create the life we want to live. So you need to know your strengths. The second understanding, the second key to success, is knowing your purpose. Your purpose is really where you want to go and why. The key part of that is why. Why do I want to go this place? Why do I want to accomplish these things? Why do I want to overcome these barriers that are going to be in my path? Because there's going to be plenty. There's going to be many pitfalls. You're going to look yourself in the face and you're going to look yourself in the mirror and you're going to want to quit. But what is that reason that's going to be so strong that will take you over all the obstacles that are going to be put in your face, all the pitfalls that you may or may not fall into, and it's going to continue to keep driving you forward? What is the reason? What's the reason? The third key to success, and I think this is probably one of the most important, not that any of the previous two are lacking importance, is the importance of having a strategic plan. What you have to understand is overcoming obstacles and striving for greatness and innovating in life. It is a very competitive environment that you're going to go into. And I say competitive not because of the people you're going to be dealing with. That's only one part to it. But really, the biggest competitor you're going to be dealing with is 2 things: yourself and the unknown. And you need a plan to take on both of those problems. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to be very difficult. It's definitely going to be difficult at times. I'm not going to be the person that's going to tell you that striving for success is easy peasy. No, it's not. It's not. But you can do this. And you can do this yourself, just like I did. What I want people to understand through this talk is mentors are indeed very important, but you have to fight your own battles. And when you're fighting your own battles, more times than not, especially if you're a visionary, which is one of the loneliest places you can be in, one of the loneliest paths you can take, because no one's going to see things how you're going to see them. No one's going to see your unique strengths and weaknesses like you're going to see them. So because of that, you're going to have to fight your own battles yourself. You're going to have to keep striving for more with no support at times. Through depression, through anxiety, through self-doubt, through fear. You're going to have to keep striving for more. But you can do it. You also have to. If I could leave you with one key question, because I like to make people think. One thing that I want you to take away from this talk and really think about further with yourself is, how can I become my own saving grace? And what do I need to cultivate within myself to become my own saving grace? The reason I want you to answer that question, and I implore you to answer that question, is because it leads you to one major fact of life: that you are indeed enough. You are enough. Thank you.